Let's begin with prayer. Lord God of the universe, Father of us all, thank you for the opportunity to be here with others of like mind, where we can support each other in our efforts to grow ourselves into a Christ-like maturity. We celebrate life and love and reaffirm our willingness to create peacefulness within so that we have true joy to share with others. As we focus on experiencing peacefulness within, we know we are creating a better world for all, a better community of friends and family, and a happier existence in our personal lives. Thank you for loving us so much and for the protection and safety you provide for us. From our moments of conception, you've kept us safe in your eternal love. We are truly safe no matter what seems to be going on around us. No matter what appearances are to the contrary, we know our eternal souls are safe with you. We appreciate the opportunity to come into this physical life on this beautiful earth, to be at the leading edge of thought and the leading edge of creation. We affirm that your energy of peaceful love fills us and that we can access that peace and love in every now moment. We know that each new now moment will be what we make it, so we choose to fill them all with our best demonstrations of peace, harmony, and love. We open our hearts and minds now to receive your messages for each of us, and we rejoice in knowing the one presence is here, in us, around us, and living through us. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
You know, Divine Mind works in mysterious ways. I had a message all prepared that I had been working on all week until 6 o'clock last night. And I decided that's not the message for this Sunday. And I threw it out and I started over. And I pulled a little bit from here and a little bit from that message and a little bit from this prayer and a little bit from this information in here. And by 10 o'clock last night, I had it all together. I didn't know that the daily word today was about peace, but my talk is on peacefulness and creating it. So I do believe that Divine Mind was leading me, saying, not that other business, save that for another day. Talk about peace today. Lately, I've been talking about how we create and manifest events, things, and situations that we desire. I know that all of you already understand a great deal about the creative process, and it is a process. With new information, there's always what psychologists and educators call a learning curve, that over time, our learning either improves or doesn't, based on our circumstances. For instance, after learning new information, subjects who were allowed to sleep retained more of that information than subjects who were kept awake. Finding peace of mind is serious business and requires some new learning. Everyone wants peace of mind. Life can be hard these days and so fast and complicated and stressful. And it can be difficult to find peace in the world. Two of the best ideas I've ever seen for finding peace of mind are deep meditation and the golden key. Since I provide a guided meditation at the end of each message, I'm not going to focus on that today. I've shared the golden key with you before, but it's timely for our lives today. It's called scientific prayer and can help us get out of difficulty. The golden key brings a greater sense of harmony and happiness. Now, this may sound like a rash claim, but it only needs a good trial to prove it true. We don't need to take anyone's word for it, and we should not. We should simply try it for ourselves. We believe our source is the living substance, spirit substance, glorious God substance of the universe, and is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. We also believe that we are made of the same substance and in the likeness and image of spirit. Jesus taught that we have control over all things. The same powers he had. We could do what he did and more if we only knew it, if we'd use it. This teaching is intended to be taken literally, at face value. Our ability to draw on this power is not just the prerogative of special religious people or even highly trained practitioners. Everyone has been given this ability. Now, you know, some people can play the piano beautifully. I could maybe play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars. What's the difference? I haven't used my finger dexterity in that pattern. I haven't used that skill and ability. But I have 10 fingers, and they move pretty well. I probably could learn to play the piano. Everyone has been given the ability to use our spiritual gifts. The key to experiencing harmony and peacefulness is within our abilities. This is because in scientific prayer, Source does the work, we don't. So our particular limitations or weaknesses are of no account in the process. We are only a channel through which divine action takes place. And our treatment will be to get ourself out of the way. That's all that's essential. It's to have an open mind and enough faith to try the key. Apart from that, we may hold any view on religion or no view. For the actual method of working, it's like everything that's basic and simple. The golden key is simplicity itself. All we have to do is this: stop thinking about the difficulty, whatever it is, and think about the source. This is the complete rule. If only we will do this, the challenge, whatever it is, will disappear. It makes no difference what kind of trouble or challenge or problem it is. It may be a big thing or a little thing. It may concern health, finances, a quarrel, a difficult person, an accident, a lawsuit, or anything else. But whatever it is, stop thinking about it. Oh, that's the hard part. Because our mind gets to churning, doesn't it? And we just get, stop! Turn, stop! It's hard to turn it off. We must think of Source, of the God mind instead. That's all we have to do. Divine mind could scarcely have made it simpler, and yet it never fails to work if given a fair trial. Don't try to form a picture of Source, of God. That's impossible. Work by rehearsing anything or everything you know about God. God is present everywhere. God has infinite power. God knows everything. God is wisdom, truth, and inconceivable love. It doesn't matter how well we think we understand these things. We're to go over them repeatedly. We must stop thinking of the trouble, whatever it is. The rule is to only think about God, the Source, the divine mind. If we think about our difficulty, we're not thinking about God. To be continually looking over our shoulder to see how matters are progressing is confusing, because that's thinking about the trouble, the challenge, the problem. Don't go there. The entities of Abraham Hicks support this idea by saying, in your action, you lose sight of the vision. You lose sight of your trust in the process. And you just bang around in a sense of futility. Hold the vision and trust that the universe will acclimate to your vision. Hold the vision and trust the process. Abraham says, it usually takes about 30 days to change a habit. Not because you need 30 days. You could do it in 68 seconds if you could hold your vibrations there, but you have to consciously make that decision. we have to make the decision. And then we have to follow through on holding to the idea of God and God's power to solve all our challenges. So our objective is to drive the thought of difficulty out of our consciousness, for a few moments at least, and substitute for it the thought of the divine. That's the crux of the golden key. If we can be so absorbed in this consideration of the spirit world that we forget for a while about our difficulties, we'll find that we are safely and comfortably out of the difficulty, and that our demonstration is made. You know, if I'm thinking about a troublesome situation, let's say that prayer list that I just put in the prayer box, there were a lot of names on it, a lot of different situations that everybody's dealing with. If I'm focused on that, oh my stomach can start to get upset. I might get a headache. I'm in turmoil. But if I put that all aside and I think about Jesus in his beautiful white robe and visualize him perhaps in my living room or up here teaching, and I feel his peacefulness, then my stomach isn't churning and my mind isn't in turmoil. I'm focused on peace. Using the golden key can be done very quickly. We may repeat the operation several times a day with intervals in between. We must be sure, however, each time we do it, that we drop all the thoughts about the problem until next time. That's the important part. The golden key is simple, but it's not always easy to turn that key. If we are frightened or worried, at first, it may be hard to get our thoughts away from the material aspects of life. By constantly repeating a statement about absolute truth, like, there is only the power of God, or I am a child of God filled with God's perfect peace of mind, or God is love, or God is guiding me now, or God is guiding them now, all those people that we just prayed for. Or perhaps the simplest of all, God is with me. How good that feels. How peaceful that feels. However mechanical or trite it may seem, we'll soon find that the treatment has begun to take, and our mind is clearing. We are not to struggle. We're to be quiet but insistent. Each time we find our attention wandering, we're to switch it back to the one source. Don't try to think in advance of what the solution will be. You and I can't solve all those people's issues, all their problems and challenges. So don't try to find a way to fix it for them. That's called outlining, and will only delay our demonstration of love, harmony, and peacefulness. We are to leave the question of ways and means to the one source. God knows what's best. We do our half, and Divine Mind will do its half. This method, or any other method of gaining peace of mind, takes practice, just like learning to play the piano. We must overcome our habit of dwelling on the negative side of life, and oh boy, do we hang out there. We can choose in every now moment to use the Christ mind within us. If we want more peacefulness in our life, we have to get rid of all preconceived ideas. We can decide to do that by emptying ourselves of all the old concepts of how and when our good will come to us. I've read before somewhere that if I think my solution to my issues will only come in the front door, then look at all the windows I'm ignoring. God can come in anyway, not just the way I prescribe. When we choose the golden key, we find that Divine Mind rushes in with solutions for our life, better solutions than we ever thought of. Everything will become new, and our joy will be fulfilled. Psalm 98 starts with, "Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song." In order to golden key a difficult person or a hard situation, we must think, now I'm going to golden key Pete or Mary or that dangerous situation. We proceed to drive all thoughts about Pete or Mary or that situation out of our mind, replacing all that with thoughts of the divine mind, the one God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the triune God, the love of God. This could be called tranquil effectiveness. It's quiet, and it works. We learn to calm down, think more clearly, become more effective in our methods, and become more open to the whispers of spirit. By working with this method, we are not seeking to influence the other person's conduct in any way, except that we can prevent him or her from injuring or annoying us or others, and we do him or her only good in the process. Thereafter, he or she is certain to be a bit better, wiser, perhaps a more spiritual person, because we use the golden key for him or her. A pending lawsuit or other difficulty would probably fade out harmlessly without coming to a crisis. Justice would be done to all parties concerned. Here at Unity on the Eastern Shore, we sing the peace song every week. And we state, now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. According to New Thought and Unity principles, peace on earth really does start right here with us, with every human. In Unity, we celebrate the awakening of, or our awareness of, the Christ mind within. Some people might ask, what do you mean by the Christ mind? We know right from wrong. We know love from hate. We know good from not good. We know. We have the Christ mind to use. To prompt our spiritual awareness and to develop our spiritual awareness, we use affirmations. We repeat what we want to experience. Unity's style of prayer is not about asking or supplicating or begging, but affirming what we already know to be our truth. We understand that what we think, say, and do is energy in motion. It's emotion. And creates an attraction. Remember, thoughts are electromagnetic energy, pulling something that matches our outgoing message to come back to us. It's a pulling toward us of something that matches our emotion. Talking about using affirmations, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said, Christian metaphysicians have discovered that we can greatly accelerate the formation of the Christ mind in self by using affirmations that identify self with the Christ. I am a child of God. I am love in human form. He said these affirmations are often so far beyond the present attainment of the novice as to seem ridiculous. But when it is understood that the statements are grouped about an ideal to be attained, then they seem fair and reasonable. We can do that. That's why in Unity we affirm what we desire to experience, not what we are experiencing. I would never pray, dear God, I have a terrible stomachache. Please cure my terrible stomachache. Just thinking about, and especially saying the words, terrible stomachache, will likely draw more of that to me. Jesus taught that we are not to judge according to appearances, but with right or spiritual judgment, seeing things as already perfect. If we desire peacefulness within and on earth, that is what we affirm as happening right now. Peace existing now, right here in our hearts, in our minds, in this space. And then we demonstrate that peace in all our thoughts, words, and deeds. Charles Fillmore says, the central idea in this word affirmation that we are seeking to understand and to incorporate into our consciousness is the Christ mind. As spiritual metaphysicians, we find that the Christ mind is the mind, the mind of spirit. In the consciousness of humans, it functions as two states of consciousness, one in the flesh, the other in spirit. But spirit is the source of all, he says. Fillmore taught that the Christ mind is here as the unifying principle of this race, the human race. And we must believe in this mind, working in us and through us, and know that through the Christ mind, we are joined to the Father mind. That's how we connect to God, is knowing that God is here within, in me. Little old me, what am I worth? But God is here. I must be worth something. I must be valuable to the universe in some way. Let me find that way. And maybe it's by demonstrating love and harmony and peacefulness and joy, sharing a smile with someone. Paul wrote to the Philippians, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Myrtle Fillmore wrote about gaining peace of mind. She says, look within yourself to the Christ mind for the light that will flood your soul and enable you to see yourself and your affairs in right relation to God and your fellow human beings. She wrote, the same mind that is in Christ Jesus is in all of us. Christ in you, the hope of glory. The more you think about your indwelling Christ mind, the greater will be its expression in you. Well, of course, the more I focus on something, the more I'm going to demonstrate it. She says, your consciousness will be illumined by the Christ light. Gradually, your whole consciousness will be spiritualized. Isn't that what we want? Isn't that why we come here every Sunday? Isn't that why we seek to find, to be spiritualized? If all humans could do that, we'd instantly have peace on earth. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore wrote about creating change, starting with change within self. And that's where all change has to begin, in mind, in our consciousness. Did you know there's a science of consciousness? Modern scientists are studying consciousness. I subscribe to a newsletter from IONS, the Institute of Noetic Sciences. Noetic means pertaining to the intellect, understanding, and the thinking process. Charles Fillmore would have loved this group. Dean Radin, the chief scientist at ION, says he is surprised by how many of the big challenges that we all face today are caused by our limited human consciousness. Well, yeah, we limit ourselves. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, what would other people say? And we limit ourselves instead of stepping out in faith saying, I can do all things through God who supports me and strengthens me. The world, Dean Radin says, longs for solutions to move us from fear, separation, and hatred into connection, creativity, and community. Yeah, we all want that. That certainly sounds like something Charles Fillmore would talk about, teach about. And it certainly is an idea prevalent in the New Thought movement. A deeper understanding of our basic interconnectedness is essential to making personal changes and transformations. Our human race as a whole needs to be aware of its interconnectedness and to switch from ideas of separation and divisiveness into ideas and the understanding of holistic, just, and sustainable solutions. Actually applying the principles is what we strive to do. As a result of applying the principles learned in the science of interconnectedness, changes are happening in health, education, business, and our daily lives. A true peacemaker is one who reduces all thoughts of strife and anger and retaliation to peace and harmony, to joy, to love, to positive expectation. The ability to say peace to our thoughts and have them obey entitles mankind to sonship of the Most High. We are aware of our oneness with our human family. Our goal is to study the principles of mind action and help others to grow into their spiritual maturity, into the continual and conscious use of the Christ mind within. Nikola Tesla, I'm sure you've all heard about him, was a Croatian-born American electrical engineer, physicist, and inventor. He was very much a scientist dealing with the scientific method of discovery, touch it, feel it, hear it, measure it. He said, the history of science shows that theories are perishable. With every new truth that is revealed, we get a better understanding of nature, and our conceptions and views are modified. Coming from a scientist, that's pretty astounding. And now scientists are studying consciousness. Where's the box that you can put consciousness in? Where's the scale on which you can measure it and weigh it? They're branching out. As you and I discover new truths about self, our concepts and our views get modified. And hopefully, so do our thoughts, words, and deeds. Our goal is the conscious use of the principles of mind action, the law of attraction, to create peacefulness and attract peace on earth. We talk about peace on earth, and we must make peace first within, right here, with all kinds of ideas. We must make peace with the idea of abundance, whether it be an abundance of wealth or health, love, joy, peace, commonality, harmony. Abraham Hicks says, make peace with outrageous abundance. I like that. Make peace with outrageous abundance. All the good that you can imagine, piled higher and deeper. He says you are more likely to have a pure vibration and attract more abundance if you leave money out of the equation. But it isn't because money is the root of all evil, it's because it usually messes up your vibration. Yeah, when we think about money, ooh, things get touchy. We don't ask, how much did you pay for that dress? Or where did you get those shoes and how much did they cost? And how much did that handyman cost you? We don't go there, do we? Just talk about all the abundance I need is coming to me now. Thoughts in action. Maybe we each can make peace with an idea of outrageous abundance, an abundance of peacefulness, and an abundance of peacefulness on earth, in every mind. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Today and always, may you choose to allow peace in your heart and mind. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you've received and pass on the love that was given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. Let's focus on feelings of peacefulness in our time of meditation. This is the time when we go within to connect again with our spiritual self, to refresh our understanding of self. Close your eyes for a private encounter with your higher self and relax. Let the chair hold you. Let it support you as you let your shoulders down. Let your face relax. Focus on your breathing. Breathe gently in and out. Quiet the chatter in your mind and rest in your silence. Feel the life force within you. Feel your heartbeat. Turn on your heart light. Let your intention for the next few minutes be to reinforce your intention to choose a higher level of peacefulness and joyfulness. As you rest in the silence, have a dialogue with the Christ mind within you about your focus on peacefulness in the situations in your life. Ask all the questions you need to ask and listen in the silence for answers to guide you. As you rest in your silence, identify your emotional responses that you now choose to change, adjust, and improve. Claim divine power to create more peaceful responses for your future. As you rest in your silence, affirm your ability and willingness to use the Christ mind you've been given to think, speak, and act in peaceful ways, to be made new in mind and spirit. As you rest in your silence within, affirm your ability and willingness to create better relationships with everyone around you and to be an uplifting resource. Give thanks to the One Holy Presence for the guidance, insight, answers, solutions, and love you've received today in this time of communion with all that is. We affirm that we are divine creatures of love, exploring the realm of this physical world, each an extension of the One Presence, here on earth to express that loving essence. Gently, slowly bring your focus back to your body, to the chair, to the room, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song. And so it is. Amen.